I opened my eyes with the first rays of the sun. For me, a deep, long sleep was a luxury. I can't remember when I could afford to truly rest. Probably never. The eternal chase contributes to quality rest. Not having untied myself from the trunk, I stretched tiredly, feeling an unpleasant heaviness in my body. Still, a tree is not the best place to spend the night, but the most safe location, considering I was about to go down when the clatter of hooves attracted my attention. Excellent, it looks like I won't have to walk on my own 2 feet. I couldn't help but smile, because my usual shelter was quite far away. Hiding in the tree, I listened to the approaching sounds. A couple of minutes later, a large man in a black hood riding a chestnut horse rode out to the river. Damn! He's big. Will I be able to knock him out of the saddle? I shifted uncertainly and disappeared among the foliage, carefully watching my too large victim. If I jump from above, maybe I'll be able to knock him out. But, interrupting my plans, the stranger dismounted, leading his horse to the water, and bent down to wash himself. This was his main mistake. The man was right under me. Without thinking twice, I jumped down, landing exactly on his massive shoulders, straddling the big guy, and swung to strike. But no matter how polished my movements were, the stranger abruptly grabbed my wrist, and twisting like a big cat knocked me into the river. Spitting, I jumped out of the water, but it was too late. The cold metal of the sword, glittering in the sun, touched my neck. Stop, don't! I sobbed, not taking my eyes off the weapon. Forgive me. Stop. I was just scared. They're hunting me. I thought you were one of them. I deliberately trembled, trying to calm the armed thug. His face was not visible under the hood, so for greater effect I shed a tear, shrinking even more. The big guy was silent for several painfully long seconds, examining me from under his dark cloak, after which he sighed heavily, lowering his sword. This was my chance. Jumping up sharply, with one precise kick I knocked the weapon out of the man's hands and, tearing off, rushed towards the horse. But despite my large build, the stranger intercepted me, painfully knocking me onto my shoulder blades, and trapping my arms and legs, he hung over me. Who are you? I heard a hoarse voice, from which a herd of goosebumps ran across my skin. Without hurrying to answer him, I tried to get out, fidgeting under his strong body, but my efforts were not crowned with success. Growling gutturally, the big guy squeezed my legs tighter, enclosing my hips in a vice. Get off me, idiot! I hissed at him, kicking in vain under my captor, who seemed not to even notice my attempts. I said, let go. You'll crush me, you big guy. The man snorted. And you'll start waving your legs again. We've been there, we know. I ask again, who are you? Get lost. I turned away, looking around and trying to decide whether it was worth showing off my talents in front of him. The stranger growled irritably and shook his head, throwing off his hood. At that moment, I forgot how to breathe, captivated by the wild green of his predatory gaze. I looked at the stranger, unable to tear myself away. The huge dimensions were accompanied by a stern face with a strong chin covered with unkempt stubble. But most of all, his eyes captivated me. Bright like the most expensive emeralds, and the vertical pupil betrayed the cat's blood in it. He resembled a huge black panther that had driven its prey into a trap. Dark hair, gathered in a tight bun, completed the image of a large cat. And only a few strands fell out, falling on his tense face. I should have said something. But I still couldn't tear my eyes away from him. For the first time I saw such a dangerous and damn attractive man at the same time. And even a thin, even scar crossing his eyebrow and right eye, reaching to the middle of his cheek, did not detract from the stern beauty of the stranger. Hey Swallow, you jumped on my head trying to knock all the shit out of me, and now you're telling me to fuck off. What kind of impudent person are you? His sensual lips twitched in a slight smile, which he immediately tried to hide. If you kick, I'll hang you by your feet on a tree, and the Urkas will come running in the evening. Okay, big guy, don't get upset. I needed your horse. So what if it didn't work out? I snorted, finally coming to my senses. What business is it of yours? Why did you decide that I even had one? The man brushed a strand of hair from my eyes with his finger, continuing to examine me closely. Despite the obvious rudeness of the cat, his gesture was filled with tenderness. How many kilometers do you think the nearest village is? Do I look like an idiot? To maybe innocently shrugging her shoulders, she smiled sweetly. My Wendigo ate him. The stranger, condescendingly shifting his weight onto his heels, sighed. Apparently he really does look alike. Doll, if you had met this creature, your bones would have been lying next to the animal you are telling me about here. So maybe I killed him before he got to me. She purred in response, trying to distract the big guy. Silly little girl. You do realize that this sounds like complete nonsense, right? Realizing that I was no longer dangerous, the man relaxed, openly mocking me. Really, what can a girl do? So here's a surprise for you, big guy. Having summoned magic, I took a deep breath, coping with the nervous tension. The power of my element enveloped my entire body, dissolving it into thin air. I saw the obvious shock on the cat's face. This was exactly what I was going to use. Appearing next to the horse, I quickly saddled the beast. The stranger looked around, trying to understand what had happened, but seeing me on his horse, he laughed sincerely and sat down more comfortably, folding his arms across his broad chest. What a devil! He chuckled, watching me desperately trying to move the animal from its place. Come on. Go, I growled to myself, but no matter what I did, all my attempts were in vain. The beast was unshakable, standing in place, as if rooted to the spot. Come on, Swallow, play some more. I can wait, thugs. A mocking voice was heard while I was seething with rage. He was having fun watching my failure. The horse was so devoted to its owner that it completely ignored my presence. Having stopped trying, I cursed loudly and jumped off the uncontrollable nag. I expected that the man would try to catch me again, but he sat there carefully watching my actions. Having cast a last farewell glance at the seductive cat, I slowly turned around, heading deeper into the forest, and, without turning around, waved my hand at him. It didn't work out. It happens to everyone. I chuckled stronger than I should have, wiggling my hips. Goodbye, Tomcat. A hoarse male laugh was heard behind me, which left a strange heaviness in my lower abdomen. Bye, little swallow, better luck next time.